Okay, so we here, truck like us. I got brother Wad in the building, and I just wanted to discuss some simple things about heavy hauling real quick, cause as we see that you're like one of the guys in the forefront for heavy haul, we can definitely get some good information from you. So I just wanted to just chop it up with you real quick about just a few things, especially as like as a beginner, somebody who just got like their CDL and is interested in heavy haul. I was just like wondering how could like what should be like the first steps? Like what advice would you give them?
When you first starting off, I would say once you get your CDLs, you don't
Hmm.
have no experience, right?
Right.
So the first thing you want to do is get experience, and the person who's going to offer you or even give you the opportunity would be like most likely an OTR company. You want to get with an OTR company, most likely doing like flatbed or step deck. Anyone that give you the opportunity, whichever one come first.
Oh, okay. So you're
So
saying to even starting out with step deck is cool.
yes, that's perfect. That's where a lot of people who's into heavy haul get their experience from. You know,
Okay.
company will not let you just go straight to heavy haul.
Okay. So it's something that you got to work your way up.
Correct.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. And I wanted to also know, like, when that time comes when you work your way up, what would be like the best heavy haul trailer to start with? Because one thing that I always fear about those heavy haul trailers is like bottoming out, especially when I see drivers go over like railroad tracks. Like, and then some of the mechanicals versus the RGN. I think you told me one time the mechanicals they don't have the hydraulics to like lift up. So that's like my only fear.
Yeah, with the mechanicals, a lot of people who are beginners start off with a mechanical because it's cheaper. This is basically cheaper and easier to
Hmm.
get in with a mechanical. But with a RGN that has power, such as a pony motor or a wet kit, you have the ability. Like say for example, even when I have 100,000, one time I had a 100,000 pound tank on my trailer.
Right.
I got to the railroad crossings. You know what I did?
What?
Came to where got out. I adjusted my trailer ride height. With that 100,000 pounds, the pony motor has enough power to lift it up off the ground at least about 2 feet to clear the tracks.
And that was
With
on the mechanical?
no, that's with
Oh, the RGN.
a RGN with a
Hmm.
pony motor. It
Yeah.
must have a pony motor or a wet kit. A wet
Oh.
kit is basically what my truck has. The wet
Oh.
kit is a that pushes the hydraulic and it's connected to your transmission. That once you engage it, it powers the trailer. So you have the option to lift it, the ride height, lift it up, and adjust it as you go. You know,
Okay.
but with mechanical, you don't have those. Once you drop the weight on there and it goes all the way down, you don't really have much ways of adjusting that ride height.
Okay.
You adjust it just slightly with the two different settings on the trailer, but besides that, it's not much you could do.
All right. Because yeah, I mean that's very important to know because bottoming out can get you like in a real jam. And I've seen so
As you
many
could
videos.
and as you can see on all the videos, 99.9% of the videos I ever seen were always mechanical trailers, never hydraulic. There's only one time I seen a person get stuck on the track with a hydraulic, and it so happened that right when he got stuck on the track, the train was coming. He was about to adjust it, but he didn't have enough time, and it hit it. It's only one time I seen that over many years of driving. Like I only seen one time where a hydraulic neck trailer gets stuck on the track, and it was just timing.
Guarantee to help you in a faulty offer situation. This strategy helps you move fast and give you the edge over others. To get the home buyer edge, go to churchillmortgage.com today. Again, churchillmortgage.com.
Consumer.org. Equal housing lender. 1749.
So
If it's changing,
basically, that was
coming
his fault
at it,
because he didn't adjust his timing right.
yes. Well, I would say it's not his fault with the timing. It's just that he should adjust it before crossing the tracks.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I seen a video where one guy crossed the track and then it got stuck. Then he adjusted it. Then he drove. Then he kept driving. So it's better to like, you know what, to be on the safe side, always adjust it before driving over the track.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Cause man, that thing is no joke getting stuck. I done seen so many videos of the trains hitting it, hitting the trailer, damaging the excavator, and I'm like,
Yeah.
damn, that thing is no joke, man. So, and I wanted to know too, how do you also like, cause like even like parking, like if you like driving up over speed bumps or little bumps, like driving in a parking lot, like how do you find parking with that thing every night?
Yeah, with guys who have multi axles, like 8 axles, they usually park in like rest areas because we're usually on permitted routes. So we usually, well, me, I like to go to a truck stop.
Mm-hmm.
So we park near like a scale. Usually it's never like a real parking. You know,
Right.
I create parking. Like I'll park next to the scale, or you know, just mainly next to scales and stuff like that. And if it's a parking lot, I'll park way in the back, out of the way, because usually I'm with a load that's over 12 wide. Just thinking about it, think about it. You know, if I take a parking spot, you know, it's gonna make it difficult for the person to park on the both side of on each side of me.
Right, to
Because
even make a turn.
yeah, so you know, for me to prevent accidents such as someone backing into the equipment or my truck, you know, I just stay out the way and just, you know, create my own parking and just where there's just a ton of open space, you
And
know.
then like going up, like say if you find a parking like in a big parking lot and it has like a little ramp or something, like the driveway, like the asphalt like rises up, you just lift up the gooseneck same way and drive in. You don't have no issues.
Yeah, yeah, correct. I could always adjust the ride height, like I said, lift it up like about at least 12 inches, and then, you know, once I
Okay.
get in, always get out and adjust it again to how I really want it.
Okay. And then another question, when you route plan in your GPS, does your, because I don't know if the Garmin like has specifications for like RGN trailers. So does your route tell you you have a ramp here or a bump here, or you just like
Uh,
just stay on the main road?
with the with basically with the routes, the GPS, you might as well throw that out the window because you're not really gonna use the GPS.
Mm-hmm.
So GPS is not going to really help you. When you get a permit, it has a route for it has a route for each state.
Oh
For every
wow.
so if you're going to 3 states, you're going to have 3 pages with 3 different routes for each state. Well, the route for each state. So if you're going from Florida, so let's just say South Carolina, they'll show you the route exactly, turn by turn, all the way till you get the Georgia line, and then you'll go to the Georgia permit, and it'll start from there. And then from the Georgia permit, it'll take you all the way to the South Carolina line, and then from there you have to go to the next page and see the South Carolina permit to your destination. With that being said, we use a lot of different apps
Mm-hmm.
to basically do turn by turn. We map out the route ourselves.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you ever have an issue with like the route being like wrong? Because one time I got some permits from the state and they was giving me and they was like listing routes that like, oh, route 22 to route 108, and all those routes the numbers was changed. Has that ever happened to you before?
Yeah. See, that's what make heavy hauling a little difficult because, you know, over the years, the street or that ave or the street name may change, but it may still be known as, you know, They just say Route 77 or something like that. You get what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
know that, all right. And that's why it's good to look at the map and just actually do your own route.
Yeah, because Route
So you,
13 could now
you,
turn into Route 301.
yes, yes. And you have to figure out that this is still 301. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it can be difficult, yeah. It can be difficult due to those little changes that can make it like now you're looking for a route that's not even,
Bro,
that's
I
not even
almost flipped on
not
the
even
lady one time. She was telling me it's the police department. Like she said, I don't know if that's true or not. She said, "Oh,
but
the police department is in charge of that. They changed the route. They changed the number of the route."
yeah. And then also, you see a lot of videos on Instagram and social media where someone is like one time I seen a video, I think it was out in Texas, where a person was super wide, it was basically like a mobile home or something. He's about to enter a highway and the highway's not even wide enough for him to enter. Sometimes that's the mess up on the people behind the scene. It's not even the driver's fault because this is the route that they gave him.
Right.
And you know, people who do the route surveys, a lot, nobody's perfect. So
Yeah.
and it's not the driver's fault. We look at it from the outside like the driver's stupid. No, he's
Right.
not stupid. He's following his route, and the state gave him a bad route,
That
or
happened
the
to me because
person
I was on a route. I think I had
who did the
something
route.
like yeah, that happened to me because I was on a route. I had something like 12 wide, and like man, I had to like lucky thing like the load was over the railing, and I had to drive like right beside the railing so other cars can pass. People cursing me out. I'm getting upset, and then but you know what I like too? Some states will tell you to download a GPS, and that now and instead of following the paper, you just follow the permit route on the GPS. You ever had that before?
No, I haven't, but we just do our routes, and point we just do pinpoint each, and we just create the route as it is on
On what, Google Map? Because
the
I've seen people
as
create
it is
their routes on Google Map too. Like they just point the stops, the
en route.
turns.
The app is called en route, where you could just pin like every turn, and then after
Okay.
it creates the route for you. So basically, once you do turn by turn, following the routes and just going on the map and dropping the pins,
Mm-hmm.
after, at the end, it will just create the entire route, so where you could just GPS it.
Ooh, I gotta write that one down. It's called En
Oh,
route.
yeah, that's what we use, and escorts as well, pilot escorts. The
Yeah.
hypo escorts, and just think about it. Being a pilot escort, especially the one who run the hypo that's out in the front.
Yeah.
Guess what? They got to know the route too. They got to
Right.
go home and study that too, because guess what? They're in front of you. Sometimes they're so far ahead of you that you can't even see them. So they have to know the route as well.
Right. 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 And they have to stay
Got to break
far ahead.
the
So
importance.
go ahead.
I always break down the importance of hiring a good one, because a real professional. Because at the end of the day, if you have a person who's new to doing this as an escort, hypo escort, and they take you down one wrong road, it could be the end of it. Because now, you could damage the load.
Right.
Because
Right. Right.
you know, I always tell people, man, heavy haul is a team. Is a team sport. It's not just one person. You need to surround yourself with a cast that know what they're doing. From the route, like when you're getting route surveys,
Mm-hmm.
the pole escort, high pole escort, the chase escort, everybody have to be real professionals and take their job serious, just as you, like their life depending on it too as well. This is how you feed your family. So you want to take it real serious and hire some real professionals. So I know people who want to cut corners and hire, Bill, who just started high pole yesterday. Cool. I like to give people opportunity, but when you're doing some real high quality, high value work, man, it's no room for mistakes. No room for mistakes.
Right. And these escorts are not cheap because a lot of them are like charging $2 a
Two dollars,
mile now.
$2 a mile. Just imagine you hire somebody for $2 a mile who don't know what they're doing. You're still paying them. You're the boss of your own company, and you're paying them $2 a mile. So
Mm-hmm.
that's real serious. Same way you could hire them. If you don't like what they're doing, guess what? You could let them go
Right.
right then. You know.
Right. Especially if you got a long haul. But what I notice about heavy haul, you guys don't really need to do, or I don't really see you guys do too much long haul. I
Oh, it's
think
plenty of long hauls. I just don't choose to do those long hauls because I figured like, me, I'm in the industry. I've been in it for a while, and the long hauls they want to give it to you at wholesale. The short hauls, they're giving it to you at retail. They're gonna pay you top dollars. You know, I get more bang for my buck doing a short haul. Going from Florida to California, man, is not. I never seen a load worth going that traveling that far.
Ooh, and all the rules, and you can't make no mistakes going from Florida to California. No
Yeah,
mistakes.
yeah. It's just a long haul. I'm not a fan of the long haul. I'm more of a short haul guy. I'm like, yo,
Hmm.
I done had loads that paid. People done see me do loads that went 1 mile for $3,500.
Hmm.
People done see me do and I recorded the whole thing. That's how short the run was. I
Yeah.
went I was on live the whole time. We loaded
Damn.
one piece, and it took some time because we had to go completely around,
Hmm.
and it was about less than a mile, and like yeah, less than, like it was like a mile the most.
How much time
But
did it take you? Like an hour?
yeah, it took like an hour because the loading and everything.
Right,
Besides
right.
that, total time to load it, offload it, and just make that drive. But besides that, it's easy. I'm not gonna say it's easy. It becomes easy after doing it for so long. I don't
Right.
want people to get the wrong idea. Like, yo, this is easy. We could start tomorrow. You know, and majority of the stuff you see on my trailer, I usually load them. So just
Hmm.
imagine. You gotta have the experience.
Oh man, that freight securement is crazy because with flatbeds, so many people, and it's like no one gets official training. So many people think you can load it like this. Some people think you can load it like that. Every rub rail is different. What you can do maybe on a hot shot, you can't do on a standard flatbed or a step deck.
Another thing people have a lot of questions about is attaching to this rub rail and how we attach to the trailer. So we got a couple good examples right here of how I done it. So what would be considered proper and what can be considered improper?
Okay, so the first thing is, the big question, we'll knock this out of the park on the first go. The big question is, can you secure something to the rub rail and can it be outside the rub rail? Yes, in the continental United States.
You can attach the rub rail?
Yeah,
No way!
yeah, you can. You can. You can utilize the rub rail as a means of securement, but along with that, you need to go through and you need to be ever vigilant on these pocket welds where it's attached, the rub rail itself. So, you got to make sure these are good, adequate strengths. There's a little bit of a bend, but if there's starting to be any cracking, that's a no-go. So watch that. And then the way this chain is hooked on the outside, here in the continental lower 48, the United States, we allow it to be outside of the rub rail.
Again, is this an Indiana regulation or is this a federal regulation?
This is a federal regulation.
So if you're in the lower 48 states, or the continental 48 states, this is the federal reg.
Yep, this is the federal reg. Now, if you're in Canada, if any Canadian viewers, they don't want anything outside the rub rail.
And I try to get some of my information from like DOT officers. What's legal? Because you got a lot of guys in the states that'll follow Canada laws. Oh, the hook can't be on the outside. The hook can be on the outside. Even with the straps, it can be on the out. Because with heavy haul, you guys have no choice but to put the hook on the outside of the rub rail. That's how your rub rail is made.
Yeah.
So a lot of these guys are like, just not really educated on how to secure the freight. And I know you have you did a video talking about direct securement to indirect, hooking to the tracks of the excavator right to the rub rail. But heavy haul, your guys' rub rail is a little bit different. And you also
Yeah.
have the welding in the middle where you can secure the freight too.
Our D-rings are already outside, so it's no choice but to hook them up on the outside. The D-rings are already on the outside of the trailer.
Hmm.
Well, yeah, correct.
And so many people just see heavy haul and just get excited because of the money. But I want to do heavy haul, but I'm not going to rush it. I like you. I like the fact that you said, yo, you have to work your way up. And that's what I was just planning to do because
Yeah.
to whom much is given, much is required. And there's a lot of responsibilities hauling those loads because if you mess up, if you make one wrong turn, if you bump into a toll, it's over. You have to call police and tell them to help you back up,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You do,
and
and
that's making yourself hot.
it's at a cost too. Yeah,
And at a cost. So some police stations might cost you, be like, hey, yo, this is a major fine. We're giving you a ticket for $1,000.
of course.
You know, and you got to back up, you got to stop traffic just because sometimes the GPSs don't some toll. One time that happened to me, you know, I bumped into a toll that was doing construction, like half of it was broke down and I had a load, couldn't even pass it. They had to call a fire department to come help me lift up the load, put it around the like the cement, the tollway was broken down and then carried over. They gave me a little $400 ticket.
Hmm.
And
Yeah,
that's
it could be.
another thing too, because you don't want to bump into a route that says, okay, the GPS is reading no tolls, but when you go there, the toll is halfway broken down, halfway construction down.
Yeah. So yeah, one thing I can say, a lot of people want to get started, and the ultimate goal is heavy haul. But I always say, man, you just got to start somewhere. Even if you can't start at step deck or flatbed, even if it's hot shot. Like over the years, I've seen people go from hot shot to pulling RGNs now today.
Yeah,
Like I've seen.
shout out to Benny. That's one dude I seen him and his pop. Shout out to them. They really
Yeah.
stepped their game up and became some big boys in the industry.
The day has finally officially come where my dad is going to take his last load on the hot shot and wanting to run transport as a whole what will be done with hot shot trucking.
Yeah, of course, so it's possible. It's people doing it right in front of your eyes. So I
Hmm.
always tell people to start somewhere. As long as it's open deck, I don't care if it's hot shot. It don't even matter. Flatbed, step deck, just start somewhere. And
Cause
that's the hardest part. People think heavy haul is the hardest part to get to. No, I think the starting is the hardest part.
right,
A lot of people just afraid to start anywhere. Once you start, I think getting a heavy haul will be easy. You just
right.
gotta start.
Because even with Hot Shot, you're getting your practice with the permits, booking the permits, because they're going to ask you a lot of questions. What's the weight of your engine? What's the distance from the kingpin to the tandems?
Oh,
What's the distance
that,
from your stairs to your drive? All kinds of what's the weight of the truck? What's the weight of the trailer? Like you're gonna get they're gonna ask you a whole bunch of questions booking those permits. So you get the practice of learning, knowing what's required, and then you work your way up, like you said. Because I love the flatbed industry. I love hot shot, step deck,
yeah, open
heavy
deck, the
haul.
open deck, the open in every open deck aspect of the industry, you could do oversized. Whether it's
Hmm.
hot shot, step deck, RGN, whichever one. You could do oversized on any open deck. So
Right.
you already perfected your craft from day one.
And those Fontaine, because I see you got a Fontaine. Those things are like, I think those things running for like 170 to 200K. Those
Yeah, they got
Fontaines.
a extendable. Yeah, like a 55-ton extendable. It's around that price range. It's a real badass trailer.
Those
Real
things
bad.
are nice. Does yours extend? Cause I don't. Do you like do the extendable loads? Does yours extend out?
Nah, mine don't extend. I wish it would. I
Hmm.
would. But
I mean, are those loads better, or is like you just good with something that's wide or something most of the time?
no, I just focus on mostly heavy. Yeah, just heavy wide loads.
Heavy wide
Not
loads.
extendable. Not too much extendable. One thing I can say, like a lot of people just think the heavy pays. Heavy
Yeah.
does pay, but you get an extendable trailer, 2 axle, 3 axle extendable, you can make just as much money just running extendable loads.
And those are
And they
not
don't have
easy
to be
too.
heavy. And they don't even have to be heavy. They could be 40, 50,000 pounds, 60,000 pounds.
Right, right. That's another thing. It doesn't even have to be heavy as long as it just extends out.
Yeah.
And that's another thing too. Those are not easy because making those turns and making sure you have the route that you go on, you can make those wide turns and it's suitable for the length of your trailer. So, a lot goes into that. You really have to be on your A game and, be serious and focus and handle a lot of responsibility with that. That's why, it's not easy. People just like what they see because they hear the money, but a lot of responsibility comes with that. A lot of responsibility.
I agree.
I
Like,
wanted to.
man, have you? I know you've been. I don't know how long you've been following me, but yo, the last couple of loads that we ran was some crazies. Like, yo, $2 million loads. It was
What do you
something
mean?
called a stator machine that I
Mm,
moved Alabama to Texas. It was Alabama to Texas, short run, about 400 miles, 100,000 pounds. There's only three of them in the whole entire U.S. And that
wow.
place have two, and just one of them was going in for repair, the older one. So we move a lot of high value stuff. So just imagine, damaging something like that.
Whew.
Which-
That you can't. I wouldn't even want to imagine that. I wouldn't even want to imagine that. Be on your A game, drink your coffee, make sure you up. And then with these loads, you can't even run at night because I like to drive at night. But I know with heavy haul, especially with wide loads, most of the permits are from sun up to sundown. Very
Of course,
few, very few wide loads you can run at night. I think in
yeah,
Illinois you can run some at night, but maybe like maximum 10 feet wide. That would be like
yeah,
the safest. But like the wide loads that you guys get, 12, 14, 16, even more, you got to run those strictly daytime. You can't run those
yeah,
loads at night.
correct. And I feel like with everyone, you gotta be more strategic about your time, man. Cause me, it doesn't really matter. Cause I usually I'm on point with everything. Like, timing is very important because you don't have much of it. It's not
Right.
11 hours that you have 24 hours to run. You get what I'm saying? So
Right.
I like, or you still, that 14 hours, because if you start at a certain time, for example, let's just say you start driving at 2 o'clock in the 2 p.m. Well, no matter where that clock is, you only got probably about 4 to 6 hours to drive. I mean, probably maybe six if it's 2 o'clock. Yeah,
Hmm.
more 4 to 8 hours. I say 4 to 6 or 4 to 8 hours to drive because the sun will be going down.
Yep. Sun go down depending on the
So
months. Like,
you're
yeah,
limited.
like right now,
Depending
probably like
on
8 o'clock.
that, you know, depending on where you're at in the United States, you're limited no matter
Right.
where you're at. So you got to put that in accountability too.
That's a fact. You know what I wanted to ask you? Does heavy haul like have a particular area, like a certain area for their market? Because I don't know if it's like is it just popping anywhere or is like mainly the South, Midwest? Because I see
Mm,
you doing your thing in the South alone. You don't even you don't have to go up to the Northeast or the Midwest. It doesn't look like.
Well, and like mainly me, I like to run the coast,
Hmm.
like the Florida, Georgia, Carolinas, the Virginia, the Maryland.
Yeah.
Then probably Maryland's about how far up I go, and then I'll run out west to Texas, and I have my lanes right there, and I just
Okay.
focus on those areas. I might go to the Midwest, but never all the way out to California, anything like that. Ain't nothing past Texas really. I just keep my range in that area. Just run the Georgias, the Florida, South Carolinas.
Right. And I
Exactly.
mainly seen you like you're always in good weather. So it's like with your loads, you never position yourself to like I mean, I'm pretty sure you can drive in snow, but with your loads, I never really seen you like any in driving in any snow. It-
Yeah, I try to avoid the snow, man. Snow is not a good mixture with heavy haul, man, because things can get ugly when you're heavy like that, real
right.
quick. I
Hmm.
try to avoid the snow, and let's say when winter comes, I'll try to take routes like, run loads to Texas on the 10 where the likelihood of snow occurring is very, very, very minimal.
Right, right. So that's another point for anyone interested. Try to stay out of snow with heavy haul because of the type of commodity that you're hauling, it's not good. Now, if you're just having a hot shot, regular standard flatbed, dry van reefer, yes, you can drive in snow because you're at a maximum weight at gross weight of 80,000 pounds with the 53, and then with the CDL hot shot, you're probably max like 40 something
Then
gross or
the permits don't allow you to drive in inclement weather. When the weather is bad, it's a law. Yeah, you can't drive.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. So that's something to
Yeah.
learn too. Yeah, so last question before I let you go, because I know you're a busy man. I appreciate you coming to the show. I see you have a freight securement course, and that's really good because you know you've been doing your thing. You know, you're definitely a professional.
Securement class is going on 4 years now.
Yeah, 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 and that's a good thing. And I see you like I even watch it too, and I even take some of the styles that you do and apply it to like the regular 53 step deck and to the hot shot. You know, with securing some of those equipment types. Well, the only thing with those tractors, the smaller ones, I don't think you can hook to the track because it's not strong enough. So if I get like a mini excavator, I don't think I can put the hook on the track like how you do for the heavy duty ones.
Yes, you can, as long as it's not a rubber track. You're all good. That steel is all good, man.
It's
You
all
know,
good.
yeah, yeah. With the steel track, some of them, the ones you haul probably have the rubber tracks. I wouldn't hook up to those, but the
Yeah.
long steel tracks, they're pretty solid.
Oh, okay, okay. So that's a good thing to know. So
Yeah.
yeah, man. So definitely, I'm gonna show the viewers a little bit of your courses because that course is real good. Freight securement for heavy haul, and that's real big in the industry because a lot of guys are even driving the step decks, the regular flatbeds, hot shots, and are not securing the loads properly. You know, there was a not too long ago, I was in a truck stop. I seen a brother from Ukraine, and he had the hook in the stake pocket, and that's a wrong place to put it in the stake pocket because if you tighten it real tight or if you take a turn, that hook is going to rip that stake pocket or bend it. So a lot of people, think they know what they're doing and they don't. So your course is real needed out there, even for the regular
I
step decks.
I also give them the experience to operate machines, heavy duty machinery. So that's the main part right there, because you're gonna, it's a lot of people out here that want to get in the heavy haul and probably never got into an excavator or a wheel loader or any heavy duty machinery.
So that's another
Yeah.
thing. You got to know how to operate those excavators and those big skid steers and those lows, all those heavy machinery. You got to learn how to operate them and put it on the trailer evenly, so the weight distribution is correct, and you won't be over certain tandems, and you can secure the freight properly. That's another thing. So it's a lot to learn for heavy haul. So a lot of
Yep.
studying has to go into it before you even go into it.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to know, man. Especially like you said, knowing where to position in the equipment to actually spread the weight evenly across your axles, from your drive to your trailer axles and on your steer. You
Okay.
know,
Yeah, that's
and
a
maybe
big thing.
front heavy or top heavy. You got
Right,
to know
right.
where with over the years you're gonna gain experience, and after moving certain equipment, you're gonna always remember like where you loaded it the last time. So
Yeah,
it's just about.
because I think you said in one of your videos it's good when you loading that on the trailer, it's good to put that heavy piece, the back of the excavator, towards your tandems instead of towards the truck. Is that true?
Yeah, you talking about towards the trailer.
Like
That's
that
what you mean.
towards the end of the trailer, towards your tandems on the end of the trailer, not going
Yeah,
towards like the cab of
the
the
way
truck.
think about it, the way I'm set up, I have 8 axes total, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have 4 and then I have 4 on the truck. Uh, you want to put it where you have the most axles that can handle the most weight, and that's on my trailer,
Right, 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 right.
close
Yeah.
together. So I try to get the weight back there majority of the time. If it's pretty light, let's say something 30, 40,000 pounds, 50,000 pounds, I just put center it on the middle of the trailer. I have enough axles no matter what, which way the weight decides to go. You get what I'm saying?
And then it's good to learn how to maneuver it because I seen a guy use he went on the trailer he was more to the right than to the left, and he used like the bucket to lift up the excavator to move over. He didn't have to drive up forward or backward. He just used the bucket, put it on the ground to lift up the damn excavator to move it over better, to center it on the trailer. I was like, wow, that's a nice move right there.
Yeah.
So people learn those little tricks too. But yeah, Wad, I appreciate you coming to the show, brother. Definitely we're gonna link up soon. I know you're out there in Florida. How's the weather out there?
Hot as hell. It's almost summertime, so guys is out there. Now it's
Yeah.
time to take some pressure out them tires.
Yeah. Yep, and being mechanically inclined is another thing too. That is a learning process in itself. So that
And
takes
that's what
time.
people don't know about me. I do a lot of stuff on the truck myself. Like, driver called me, like, the truck's having issues. I get to the truck, it's telling me it's a turbo, but me knowing what I know, I diagnose it. Come to find out, it's a busted up. Repaired the hose, and that was it myself. We had the tools,
Hmm.
just repaired it myself.
Yeah, because the depth issue is a problem with these trucks. Just a whole bunch of things is a problem with trucks. So got to stay on top of maintenance and be mechanically savvy and just fix what you can, and then save the mechanic for the big stuff.
Yeah, all the little stuff I do it, repairing, like, you know, fluid holes or anything like that, airlines, things of that nature. I can do it. I'm mechanically inclined to do it myself. I got some of the best mechanics. If I have to FaceTime one of them to walk me through it, I got that on my side as well.
Hmm.
And to keep that money, man, and be really in business, you gotta learn how to do some things, man.
That's a
Because
fact.
these mechanics in these shops are not playing fair. They coming
That's a
to
fact.
thing
They
job.
they coming to charge truckers. They coming to charge. I done seen so many people, and cry about the prices and something so easy to fix. Even the dealerships, just to check something, they might cost you $300-$400.
Yeah. At the same time, I was telling you, I was gonna take it to straight to the basically, because I have a warranty to cover the major components. But yeah, I was gonna take it to the dealer. But once I saw what it was, I went in there, spent $50, bought the hose, put it on, and that was it, man. The rest is history. But just the diagnostic was gonna be about $400, and it was only $100 fix. So you do the math.
Yeah, and I
I
seen
would have got the diagnostic. I would still have to pay for me to fix it.
right,
So
right, right.
finding it myself, I just saved myself $300. Well, $350. Bought the part for 50, and I placed it myself.
Because all those accessories you've been posting, I've been screenshotting it and saving it, like the portable battery. So when your battery dies, I seen you had that red one. I forgot the name of it. I done screenshot that. You had that diagnostic machine, so that tells you what's good. I done screenshot that. So a lot of those
You,
stuff
you
that
don't
you
even
be
have to do
posting,
that. All you have to do is go to the link in my bio, right? I got an Amazon store with everything in there. Everything that you ever see me, from
I'm gonna
the
put.
high V jackets to the chains, the binders to the Garmin GPS to
Hmm.
everything you ever see me on post on Instagram is actually on that video on my Amazon storefront.
I'm gonna
You'll
put
get
that in the description box too for the listeners too. I'm gonna show them what's
you.
that, because every time, and I save that because the things like that you need. I know they say the APU can like start your battery sometimes, but that jump starter kit that you had was good. That
It is.
diagnostic machine you had was good. Everything that you posted, and I screenshotted, and I'm gonna definitely post up your Amazon store too.
Yeah, and like I said, it's gonna pay for itself.
Hmm. Yep, that's how you save money out here, because trust me, maintenance maintenance can put a hole in your pocket. Well, yeah, Wad, I appreciate you coming to the show, brother. So we definitely gonna chop it up again soon, man.
No problem. No problem.
All right, brother. Take care.
You too.
All right.